This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Monday, August 14th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. The Indianapolis Colts are entering the final days of training camp at Grand Park Sports Campus in Westfield after completing their first preseason game on Saturday against the Buffalo Bills. The campus has hosted the Colts training camp since 2018, and General Manager Chris Ballard says the setup in Westfield creates benefits for both the city and the team.
From a facility standpoint, from a field standpoint, from a location standpoint, especially being so close to Indianapolis, I think all of it's a benefit for not only the Colts, but, the city.
Ballard said it's been exciting preparing for the new season with new head coach Shane Steichen, who was hired in February after serving as offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Colts lost its first NFL preseason game Saturday, 19-23, to the Buffalo Bills. Maryville-based Monosol is reducing workforce at one of its Northwest Indiana production facilities. In a notice to the state, the company said it plans to lay off 45 workers in LaPorte, citing a decrease in demand for its products. Monosol is a division of Tokyo-based Kyorai Group and makes biodegradable films used in a variety of products, including detergent pods, personal care and cosmetics, and laundry bags. The company said the first round of layoffs are expected to begin September 25th. Or within 14 days after that date. Workers at the plant are represented by Teamsters Local 135, and Monosol said they have been bumping rates under the current collective bargaining agreement between the company and the union. Monosol says the move is expected to be temporary, but the layoffs are anticipated to last about 2 years. The Indiana Family and Social Securities Administration on Friday announced a security breach affecting Indiana Medicaid members. The agency said the breach involves software used by a contractor that exposed certain personal information. The contractor, Virginia-based Maximus Health Services Incorporated, informed the FSSA about its breach in the MoveIt software, which occurred in late May. The breach exposed the names, addresses, case numbers, and Medicaid numbers of more than 744,000 members of Indiana Medicaid, as well as the Social Security numbers of 4 more members. The FSSA said the Hoosiers affected are members of Medicaid who had received a communication from Maximus regarding the selection of a managed care entity. Maximus is contacting all affected members with information and options for credit monitoring. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
Indianapolis-based Stitch Consulting Services Incorporated, which launched last year out of Indianapolis venture studio High Alpha, has secured $3.3 million in state incentives based on the company's growth plans. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
Last month, Stitch secured an offer from the Indiana Economic Development Corporation of up to $3.25 million in state tax credits if the company adds 100 Indiana employees by the end of 2027. The incentives are performance-based, meaning the company cannot receive them until it hires Hoosiers. This means by the end of 2027, at least 100 of the company's expected new hires will have to be Indiana residents if Stitch is to earn the full amount of the tax credits. Stitch has also secured an offer of up to $100,000 in training grants. It can secure that full amount if it employs at least 66 Hoosiers and trains at least 29 employees by the end of 2025. The company currently has 32 employees, about half of whom are Indianapolis-based and the other half working remotely. Co-founder and CEO Michael Burton said he expects that number to top 50 by the end of this year, growing to more than 200 by the end of 2027. Stitch launched as a consultancy for customers of Twilio, whose platform allows users to develop applications to communicate with their customers. In May, Stitch announced it had formed a partnership with New York City-based Braze, whose platform allows brands to engage with their customers online in real time. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana's revenue collections outpaced projections in July. The Indiana State Budget Agency said general fund revenues last month totaled $1.6 billion, which was 0.5% above the April 2023 forecast and 8% above the same month last year. The agency noted better than expected collections from individual income tax and interest outweighed lower than expected collections from sales tax. Sales tax collections totaled $877 million last month, nearly $28 million below projections and $7.5 million below July 2022. Individual income tax collections were 2.7% higher than the monthly estimate. One of the country's largest tax advisory firms is getting bigger. North Carolina-based Cherry Bekaert has acquired MCM CPAs and Advisors, a regional accounting firm headquartered in Louisville with offices in Indianapolis and Jeffersonville. The acquisition will bring MCM's 370 employees and $72 million in annual revenue under the Cherry Bekaert umbrella. Cherry Bekaert serves clients in all 50 states, and officials say the acquisition makes the company the Southeast's largest accounting firm. Indiana Adjutant General R. Dale Lyles is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.